Hi, I'm James Fishburne, Director of Forest Lawn Museum. Welcome back to our series on the Hall of Crucifixion-Resurrection, or HOCR. In this video, we're going to head into the auditorium and take an up-close look at the largest painting in the western United States. After proceeding through the Gothic corridor, viewers encounter a truly colossal work of art. The oil-on-canvas painting of the crucifixion is 195 feet wide and 45 feet tall. To give you a sense of scale, the figures in the central scene are approximately life-size. It was painted by the Polish artist Jan Stika in the 1890s. Stika, who lived from 1858 to 1925, primarily worked on religious subjects and historical scenes. The crucifixion was one of 4 huge panoramas that he painted over the course of his career, while this battle scene that depicts an uprising against a Russian invasion is still on display in his native Poland. Panoramas were a popular art form in the late 19th century. In an era before cinema, they were an affordable and exciting type of entertainment that offered viewers an immersive artistic experience. When displayed in a fully enclosed 360-degree setting, as in this diagram, the paintings were called cycloramas because of the cylindrical nature of the space. A slightly different format was the hemicycle, or half-cylinder panorama, which was open on one end. This was how Stika's crucifixion painting was originally presented, and a miniature display in the HOCR recreates this setup. One of the main goals of a panorama was to evoke a sense of place in order to make viewers feel like they had been transported to a distant land. The crucifixion was originally titled Golgotha, the place where Jesus was crucified. Before Stika began the painting, he traveled to Jerusalem in order to make sketches and get a sense of the landscape and other local details. Notice the prominent city wall, ancient buildings in the distance, desert plant life, and even the camel at the edge of the scene. Stika also includes numerous biblical elements. Christ is shown standing confidently the moment before his crucifixion, and he is illuminated by a divine light. At his feet are some relics of the Passion, including the crown of thorns. Behind Christ, a Roman soldier reads the charges against him. The 2 other men crucified with Christ stand with their hands bound behind their backs. Nearby, Mary Magdalene kneels in grief, and Mary, Jesus' mother, seen here wearing blue, is supported in her time of sorrow. For centuries, artists have incorporated their own self-portrait into larger paintings, and Stika was no exception. He used his own face for the figure of Saul, or Paul the Apostle, the man on the left with the dark beard. Compare this to the portrait bust of Jan Stika on display in the HOCR. Those are just a few of the countless details in the painting. But how did a work of art that is nearly 2/3 the length of a football field get from Poland to Forest Lawn? Well, it was quite a journey. The painting toured Eastern Europe, including the cities of Warsaw, Moscow, and Kiev. Then, in 1904, it was sent to the World's Fair in St. Louis. Too large to fit in any building, it was not shown at the fair. Stika was unable to pay the export fees, and he had to return to Poland without his work. The painting was wrapped around a telephone pole and ended up in storage in Chicago. In the 1940s, Forest Lawn purchased the crucifixion, built the HOCR, and installed the painting. The incredible scale is evident here as workers toil away on the 6 levels of scaffolding. Jan Stika's son, Adam, and daughter-in-law, Wanda, traveled to Forest Lawn to help conserve the artwork. An unveiling ceremony took place on Good Friday in 1951. With much fanfare, including an orchestra, choirs from USC and Hollywood Presbyterian Church, and even a television crew, the crucifixion was unveiled. For the first time in nearly half a century, the painting had found a home. Within the HOCR, it was transformed and given new life. Instead of viewing it as an immersive hemicycle, as it is shown here in the 1890s, visitors are treated to a more cinematic encounter. The auditorium is reminiscent of a classic movie palace, and the crucifixion is presented on a virtually flat plane. One is able to take in the entirety of the monumental painting in a single grand view, but repeated visits are needed to absorb all of the details. Check back soon for our next video as we examine The Resurrection by Robert Clark, a painting commissioned specifically for the HOCR.